shocked. But the truth is, the condition of your feet actually determines how you look, how you feel, and your overall health in general. And this is very serious. I'm really not joking here, because the vast majority of people have issues with their feet and they don't even realize it. And today, I'll show you exactly how your feet affect your entire body and how they cause a lot of different problems. Most importantly, I'll show you some life-saving exercises to restore your feet and bring back your youth. Our body is a single myofascial system where everything is interconnected. If we look at muscles and fascia, these structures don't work in isolation. They work together and are attached to the bones. All of our muscles are interconnected in complex chains. So, if there's some kind of underlying pathology in the foot, it inevitably results in tension along the entire length of the muscle line. That's exactly why your feet can affect your joints, your posture, and even your internal organs. And this works the other way too. Your bite affects your feet. More often than not, various medical issues with the nervous system, skull, or neck affect the feet first. But once a foot pathology develops and there's chronic tension, the feet start to negatively impact and break down the rest of the body. I remember I once had a patient who had a significant injury to their leg. A car ran over her foot. She had multiple fractures, and as a result, the foot became very rigid. All the fascia and muscles became very stiff, and the fascial lines pulled in that direction, leading to body and facial asymmetry. Even without serious injuries, tension can still build up. And what usually happens? If you look at this image, you'll see internal rotation of the hip and internal rotation of the lower leg. As a result, the muscles in the foot no longer work in a balanced way. Certain muscles become weak, while others become tense. As a direct consequence of this, the load on the joints becomes distributed unevenly. This leads to the development of zones of excessive wear in both the hip and knee joints. This is a direct path to arthrosis and even joint replacement. The feet are under tension. This leads to poor muscle balance at the pelvic level. The pelvis will tilt forward into an anterior tilt. And here, in these segments, excessive tension will appear. Often, excessive tension can also appear in the upper thoracic vertebrae, which can lead to a dowager's hump. This directly affects your appearance. Your neck can shorten and your head can shift forward. In my practice, I see that correcting only the skull and bite without working on the feet is simply not enough. Usually, you need to correct both because they strongly influence each other, especially since all myofascial chains start at the feet and end at the very top of the head. Friends, now I want to talk about muscles. What happens to them when the pelvis tilts forward and the hips and shins rotate inward? First of all, these are the peroneal muscles. They're on the side. These muscles become very stiff. The flexibility of the outer muscles, and specifically the peroneal muscles, is compromised. And they turn the foot outward. This is called foot pronation. They actively reinforce chronic foot dysfunction and completely disrupt the entire natural biomechanics of the upper sections. If you have ever happened to notice, in women who have significant foot deformities, like a bunion on the big toe, often their second, third, and fourth toes also gradually start to become hammer-shaped over time, because all these extensor tendons also become extremely rigid and stiff. So the foot extensor muscles, when the foot consistently and chronically collapses forward, they're also in a constant state of significant tension. And there are other muscles that, on the contrary, become weaker. When a muscle imbalance begins to develop, the gluteal muscles become significantly weakened, and along with them, every single muscle of the posterior chain also becomes quite weak. The posterior tibialis is a very important muscle, and this muscle, it supports the arch of the foot. If this muscle is relaxed, then flat feet develop. As you can see, it's a complex mechanism where everything is interconnected. And actually, if you want to solve the problem, you need to correct all the links, starting from the foot and ending with the skull and the bite. And this is what I do professionally as an osteopathic physician, and I teach this. If you want to tighten your face and body, join my program. The link is in the description below. Only now you can get 90% for program. Hurry to join and look 10 years younger. Now let's move on to the exercises. The first thing you can do while sitting, just turn your feet outward and inward like this. Right up until the point where the muscles get fatigued. Okay? Good. After that, you can also do flexion, extension. Flexion, extension. 20, 30 times. This is specifically for strengthening the muscles to achieve balance. You feel the muscles tensing up here. And then switch. Again, do it in one direction, then the other. Now we've warmed up the muscles, and you can feel them toned, right? Excellent. If you do this every day, you'll feel a surge of energy in your body, and your feet will be relieved. You need to strengthen the foot flexors. That is, all the flexors, the small foot flexors, the big toe flexor. So, you can either lay down a towel and sort of scrunch it with your toes, or just take it and do it quickly, like this. Do this exercise 30 times. Once you have finished doing that, I recommend that you also engage the foot, meaning lifting the arch. We just lift it so that the arch here increases, okay? If you already have flat feet at your age, you're unlikely to fix it completely, but you can compensate. And I do this all the time myself to compensate and feel good. And overall, I'm quite successful at it. Next one, the posterior tibialis muscle, the one I mentioned in the back, it attaches right here. How can you engage it? You can actually take a band, set it up, and do a movement like this. See? So you're rotating the foot inward. Like this, and this tones it, and you hold it. So, tie the band and train like this, yeah. You can just, like I'm doing, fix your feet to the floor and start pressing down with all your might, trying to pull them in as much as possible. That's another option. But a band is probably more convenient, so you can just take a band, tie it to something, and train. Meaning you pull the foot in like this, right? And then I also recommend, as you might expect, relaxing these important muscles, the peroneal muscles. So you can take your leg, place it like this, grab the fourth and fifth toes, and pull them toward yourself. So I'm essentially turning the foot out, and here I'm bracing against the shin. What I do is simply take the foot, and by turning it out like this, I effectively help it to relax. You can also, of course, spend some time massaging all of these different muscles here. Find the specific trigger points and work on relaxing them completely. So we work through all these areas. Overall, it's useful to work all these muscles here, as well as here under the bone. Where the posterior tibialis is located, we can just press into this area with our fingers. And I also recommend just giving yourself a foot massage. Massage here because there's a huge number of biologically active points, and if we look at it from an Eastern medicine perspective, all meridians pass through the foot. Energy blockages and tension frequently tend to occur right where the meridians exit the body. It's important to also work with the pelvic muscles, like the glutes and others, with internal organs, the pelvic floor, and the nervous system. You can learn all these on my Mind Body Face platform, where I explain in great detail exactly how to work with all of these things. But I think what I've shown today will already be enough to get started and help yourself. Please share your feelings in the comments after doing the exercises, and see you next time.